Ladies and gentlemen, federal employees, today we're talking about the key differences between retiring as a firefighter for the federal government and retiring just as a traditional federal employee. The key differences, and this topic actually comes from a question that we're going to read right now that someone submitted that we're going to tackle this question for them. But if you have any questions about your retirement, there's actually a link in the description below. You can submit those and we answer these questions, if they're good questions, on future episodes. So let's dive right in. This question says, I am a 50-year-old wildland firefighter and currently have 25 years of service. My HR shop looked into my retirement, found that I don't have 3 full years of primary firefighting experience, and therefore I'm not eligible for firefighter retirement. My question is, what's the difference between firefighter retirement and retiring at 57 with 30 plus years and getting just the traditional retirement? So this is a great question. Now, lesson number 1. Before we dive into the firefighter stuff, right? Lesson number 1 is it is so important to understand your service. What counts for what records your agency has, your HR has, and if everything's done correctly. It is so important because just like this gentleman, I've seen so many people. They work their entire career, they go talk to their HR, they realize they didn't understand things like they thought, and either they had to work longer to get the benefits they want, or they simply just don't get the benefits they want, right? Or something comes up and they're just forced to retire at a time that really doesn't work for them because they didn't know. They didn't know. So please, please, please talk to your HR, figure this stuff out now before you get too close, okay? Because once you get close to retirement, it's stressful, it's painful, and sometimes you just can't retire when you want. So that's lesson number 1, okay? Talk to your HR, make sure they got everything correct, everything looks good, and you're set up for the retirement that you expect, okay? Now, here's the deal. The difference between a firefighter and a traditional retirement is huge, huge. And the reason is it is about 70% different, right? So, for example, if you retire just with a traditional retirement, okay, traditional retirement, your multiplier is normally 1%. Normally 1%. Meaning, if your high 3 is 100 grand, and you've got 30 years of service, okay, 30 years, your pension is going to be $30K per year, okay? Because again, 30 years of service multiplied by your multiplier, multiplied by your high 3, you get your pension, $30K a year. So 30 years of service, high 3 of 100 grand, multiplier 1%, okay? However, if you are a firefighter or other special provision, for the first 20 years, your multiplier is 1.7%. 1.7%. So for the first 20, you get 1.7%. Okay, again, 1.7%, which is, for the first 20, you get 70% more bang for your buck than traditional FERS do. So your pension ends up being way bigger. Way, way bigger. Okay? Now, I don't know when this gentleman that submitted the question wants to retire. Maybe they want to do it really soon. But what I would do for him specifically, right, what I think he should do is figure out what his high 3 is and do the math. Hey, if I went back and did 3 extra years of firefighting time, how much bigger would my pension be? And it's going to be a big difference. Okay? It's going to be probably more than $10,000 a year difference. It's going to be a big, big difference, okay? Getting a special provision retirement is a big, big difference. And you can get the FERS supplement right away, and you get cost of living adjustments before age 62, which traditional FERS don't. There's lots of perks of being firefighters, lots of perks. So I'm not saying it's worth it if this gentleman is way out of maybe the years he wants to do firefighting. Maybe he doesn't want to. Maybe it's not worth it for him. But again, it's going to be a lot of money every single year. There's a lot of perks. You get cost of living adjustments every single year. You don't have to wait till 62, which traditional FERS have to. So I would look at it. And again, lesson 1, check with your HR. Make sure your service is documented in a way that makes sense, that you have the years of service that you think you do. That's number 1. And number 2, do the math for you. If you're in a situation like that, please do the math for you. Find your high 3, and maybe ask your HR, hey, if I did those 3 years, how much would my pension be? If you're not number savvy, if you are number savvy, I got tons of videos on how you can calculate your pension that'll give you at least a direction on where to go. So I hope that's helpful. Again, if you have questions about your career, and you want that to potentially be answered on a future episode just like this, there's a link in the description below. Happy to do so, and I hope that's helpful. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you guys next time.